about it. So, all right, I'm glad you're with us today. I am going to put myself just on spotlight so everybody can see me clearly. And what I'd like to do is invite you to come into your steady and comfortable yogic seat. Make sure. All right. And I can see you on the screen, and if anyone else needs to pop in and join us late, that's absolutely fine. And with a long spine and rolling the shoulders back and down, finding your open heart, I'm going to invite you to begin with a yogic practice called palming. We're going to take the hands and rub them together vigorously. Rub, 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 rub. And perhaps the first thing that you may notice is that it builds heat, not only in the palms of the hands from the friction, but it's also building a little heat because you're using the arms and using the shoulders. And you can let the breath deepen as you do this, in and out through the nose. Rub, 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 rub. I'm going to keep rubbing to build that heat. And in the center of your palms, there are two energy centers, one in each palm. It's a minor chakra point. A chakra is an energy vortex. And some of us may be familiar with the ones that run along the spinal column, but there's actually other chakra points in the body. And two of them are right in the palms of the hands. So we're inviting a little energy to wake up those energy centers right in those palms, building heat. Keep rubbing. Is it getting warmer? You might feel your breath getting deeper, your pulse increasing as you do this. Rub, 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 rub. And then release. And you may feel a lot of tingling in your hands, a lot of life force there. If you're wearing glasses, take them off. And just place the palms of the hands around the bony structure, around the eyes. You don't want to press on the eyeball, but you're pressing on the bones that surround the eye. You close. And feel that energy, that heat, that prana, that life force drawing in to the eyes, past the eyes, and into the center of the head. There's a point right in the center of the brain that is the pineal gland called, and it's actually the seat of the third eye, your intuitive wisdom eye. And let the breath deepen as you just allow that life force to come into the eyes, to the center of the brain. And this is also part of a practice in yoga we call pratyahara, or withdrawal of the senses, turning the senses inward. We make a conscious choice to turn away from the incessant barrage of overstimulation of our modern world and bring the awareness inside. Begin to let the breath get a little slower and deeper. Taking a few of those deep three-part breaths, filling up belly, widening ribs, lifting chest. And then emptying from top to bottom, inviting that little contraction in the glottis to narrow the airway so you can hear the whisper sound of the breath. So we bring the attention to the stillness within, to the rhythm of the breathing, and that sound of the ujjayi breath calling us into present moment awareness with every in-breath and out-breath. If your arms are getting tired, you can release the hands and just turn the palms face up on your lap. Keeping your eyes closed, shoulders soft, heart open. There is a primordial silence that is prior to all sound. there is an essential stillness that comes before and gives rise to all movement. And there is an essential emptiness, boundless emptiness, out of which all form arises and unto which all form returns. And we can invoke that and call into that which is our true nature with the sound of Om. So those of you who wish to, and I'll put you on mute first, those of you who wish to can bring your hands together, palms joined at the heart center, and take a deep breath in. And if you'd like to join me in the sound of Om to call into that silence, stillness, and emptiness, take a deep breath in. Let's exhale together with the sound of Om. And let the eyes open with a soft gaze. Once again, refresh your posture. And we'll begin taking some long, slow, seated sun breaths, syncing up your breath and your movement. Let the arms rise at the top of the breath. Reach through the right fingers and left fingers. Exhale, sweep the arms wide and down. Bottom of the exhale, fingers reach down to the earth. Inhale, lift up like the rising sun. Exhale, sweep wide and down. A couple more like this, just to sync up your breath and your movement and your attention. Notice if there's any scrunching of the shoulders and see if you can let the shoulders stay dropped away from the ears. And one of the ways you can do that is when you lift your arms halfway. Just spiral the arms open. Just let the arms roll open all the way up to the shoulders first, and then let the fingers rise, and exhale, release. One more. Breathing lifts the arms. And then bring the hands to the knees and lengthening up again through your spine, rooting down through your tail, lifting up through your crown. We'll take our seated cat-cow. Sit bones are like the blades of a rocking chair. Inhaling, heart forward, shoulders pull down and back. Just look up a little bit, lifting the chin so you stretch through the throat center. Can't get the words out today. Exhale, chin to chest, rock back to the back end of your sit bones. Pull the navel in. Feel the shoulder blades spread apart here. So cat-cow spinal waves, arching back and bowing forward, letting the breath move the body. Breath, movement, and attention sync up as one. So these are your first two essential movements of the spine to do every day, to the depth that you're comfortable. And on the next exhale, just coming into lifted spine, open heart. Let the arms rise again. And take a twist to your right. Leading with the heart. Your right hand can come to the back of the chair, either on the seat or the back of the chair higher up behind you. Look over your right shoulder. Inhale, lift up. Exhale to the left. Taking that elegant twist, lengthening through the spine, leading with the heart. Let's do one more each side, flowing with breath. See if you can slow down your exhale so that you can hang out here for the length of that exhale in the twist. At the very end of the exhale, that's a sign to release the twist and come back to that deep inhale, lifting up. Take a long, slow exhale into the twist to the other side. When you're ready to release, coming back up to center, palms come together, return to the heart. We'll take side bends now, so bring your right hand to just gently hold the side of the chair. Left hand lifts high with a big breath in. And see if you can notice if you're going into scrunchasana here with the left shoulder. See if you can soften that down. Invite length and space along left side of your body. And exhale, take it into a side bend. Reach long and away with those left fingers. Try to notice if you're bending the elbows and see if you can lengthen. Inhale up to center. Exhale, float that left hand down. Notice the difference between left side and right side. Where you're noticing that flow of prana. Inhale, right arm rises, find length and space. Exhale, take it into a side bend. Rooting down with your right and left sit bones into the mat. Keeping that right shoulder rolled open so we don't let that upper arm fall forward. Reach long and away. Inhale up to center. Exhale, float it down. Oh, yeah. One more each side. Inhale, left arm rises. Exhale, side bend, opening through the rib cage on the left side. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, float that left hand down. Inhale, right arm rises. Exhale, side bend. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, float down. Reach hands back behind you, and either using your strap with some space between your hands, if you need to, whatever allows you to straighten your arms here and get a little lift and feel that squeezing of the shoulder blades toward the center, or clasping hands if you can. I'm just turning sideways so you can see what you want it to look like. You really want to feel that heart light up, the tops of the shoulders stretch, reaching up through the crown of the head, wide open, expansive heart. And make sure that you're on the front edge of your chair so you have room to reach the hands back behind you. And if it feels available, you can fold over, letting your torso rest on your thighs. If that feels like a little too far to fold, if you have an extra blanket, you can fold it and place it in between your thighs. Reach hands back behind you, lift them up. And if it feels comfortable, taking it a little deeper, letting the head hang down. Hands reach up and overhead, let it go, let the head go. And then releasing the hands and just let them hang down by your side. If you're not coming into full forward fold here, you can just let the chin drop to the chest and let the arms hang down. So you at least get a stretch in the back of the neck here. And then let the hands come to the thighs to slowly invite the spine to lengthen and lift. Take your time here. And let the crown, again, lift up skyward, tailbone root downward. And we'll take a moment to roll the shoulders. Roll the shoulders one way. Big circles. Letting that exhale be a releasing of any burden that's on your shoulders today. Try circling the other way. Make any noise that feels good, any letting go sounds. We're all on mute so nobody can hear you. And take a moment with the palms turned up, backs of the hands on the lap, just to let your eyes close and feel what you've invited in thus far. And then bringing the hands to the thighs. You can widen your feet a little bit if that's more comfortable. It's a little bit, often a little just more stable to widen the feet to shoulder width. And we'll begin some hip circles. Torso circles is really what we're doing. And you can feel yourself shifting your weight from one sit bone to the next. See if you can play with finding the edge of your balance here. How wide can you get those circles to go? So the shoulders are kind of making a big circle around your hips here. And then try circling the other way, nice and wide. If If anything, you're giving your butt a little massage as you shift side to side. And you're getting those core muscles waking up and active here. And then come back, letting those circles get a little smaller and smaller, shoulders over hips. And now, see if you can just, remember last week we did those barrel rolls, imagining a barrel around your midsection, like a keg of beer, and it's lined with velvet. And you just want to feel your ribs brushing, first your back of your ribs and the sides of the ribs, then the front of the ribs, brushing that velvet on the inner circumference of the barrel. So we're not letting the whole shoulders go around. We're trying to keep the shoulders as still as possible and just letting it be from the, really initiated from the waist, from the rib cage area, and then circle the other way. So it's a little more subtle movement with the, you can feel your weight shifting side to side on your sit bones, but it's not quite as big as it was when we were moving the shoulders around. So feel that velvet on the inside of the barrel and then come back to center. And then you can either keep your legs wide or, actually let's bring the feet in a little bit more. It'll give us a little more room for our arms. I'm going to show you a really wonderful energizing practice that increases the flow of prana and just lights up all the cells with life energy. It's called the breath of joy. And what we're going to do is 3 sips of air in through the nose and 1 strong exhale through the mouth, a belly breath. So it's going to look like this. Inhale, 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 and then exhale with a ha, folding forward from the shoulders. Now you can either just round the shoulders forward and let the chin drop to the chest. So you're coming into like a ragdoll position here, flopping forward. Or if it's comfortable for you and you want to take it deeper, you can come into a full forward fold here, letting the arms hang down, letting the head hang down. But it's fine to just do chin to chest and shoulders round forward. You might want to start that way and see how it feels before you take it into a full forward fold. Just be real mindful of your back. If you have any sensitivity in your low back right now, you might not want to come into the full flinging forward, but just let it be an upper back rounding and chin to chest. So remember, lips are closed in the beginning when we take 3 sips of air. And with those 3 sips of air, you're going to fill all the way up to the shoulders. And with that 1 exhale, you're going to let it all go with making some noise. So it's an expelling of stagnant, stale energy. So the arms are going to swing forward. So first you're reaching forward, lifting the shoulders, and then the arms are going to come out wide, and let that be a gesture of saying yes with your whole body, mind, and spirit, spreading wide through the heart, opening up. And then the arms are going to come up to the sky, and see if you can do that so you get a whole lengthening through the side body here. But see if you can do it without scrunching through the shoulders. So keep the shoulders soft. And then we're going to go, ha. So let's see if we can sync that up with breath. Inhale through the nose. Inhale a little more through the nose. Inhale through the nose and exhale with a ha. Let it go. Inhale, 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 ha. Inhale, take in a little more. Inhale nice and wide. Inhale, lift up and ha. Inhale, 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 ha. This is called the breath of joy. Keep going at your own pace. Take it nice and slow. Ha. So with each inhale, inviting in some joyful energy. Ha. This beautiful sunshiny day. The awakening of spring. Ha. Prana, life force. Invite it all in. Fresh possibility. Ha. Fresh new energy. And whatever you need to let go of, whatever blocks you from that joy, let it go with that exhale. Make a little noise. Ha! Inhale, inhale, inhale. Ha! If you feel dizzy or lightheaded, you can always come back to those seated sun breaths. Very simple. Ha! Inhale, Inhale. Inhale, lift it all up, and let it go. One more. Inhale, 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 and Bring your hands to your thighs, slowly roll up. Bring the backs of the hands to the thighs, let the eyes close for a moment, and just notice all of that life force and tingling. Those rivers of prana streaming through your energy channels, the nadis in your energy body. This is what I call the prana buzz. It doesn't take a lot to increase our aliveness. It doesn't take being super bendy or twisty. It just takes gentle movement that celebrates being alive, deepening breath, a few breathing practices that can increase our sense of life force. And let your eyes open with a soft gaze, and I'm going to invite you to come to standing. So slowly, standing up, and I'm going to turn the chair sideways so that you can see. You just can come behind your chair. I'm going to start with the downward dog posture that we've been practicing every class. Come to stand behind your chair, and just hands rest gently on the back of the chair. We'll start with our familiar down dog pose, and then I'm going to show you another possibility that you can play with. So walk the feet back and find that length across the back of the torso, shoulders and arms. Let the heart hang down. If you need to take a little bend in the knees to protect your hamstrings, you can do that. And spread the sit bones wide like you're fanning peacock feathers into a beautiful display. As the heart continues to melt down, let the navel draw in and up to support the lengthening of the spine as you reach your tailbone and sit bones back. Long, slow, deep breaths in and out, enjoying the stretch in the shoulders and upper back. One more long, slow, deep breath. Enjoy the lighting up of the backs of the legs. You might just feel this in your hamstrings, the backs of the thighs. And then soften the knees, press into the chair, and slowly walk back to standing behind your chair. You may want to take a few shoulder circles one way, and then the other way. Now, I'm going to show you another option for your downward facing dog. You can do the down dog we just did, if you enjoy being a little higher up. If you want to take another variation of this, which brings us a little closer to the kind of downward dog that you'd see people do on a mat, is to face the front of your chair and bring your palms down into the center of the chair. So you're coming kind of into like a standing table pose. Your palms are spread wide and your middle fingers are pointing straight ahead to the back of your chair. And then from here, you can walk the feet back. So now your arms are going to be more at a diagonal angle. So you come into that same, reaching the hips back, stretching through the backs of the legs. Toes point straight ahead here, hip width apart. And see if you can sink the heart down to that place, the point right between the feet. You can let your head relax, or just keep your upper arms in line, or your ears in line with your upper arms. Feel the lengthening of the spine, the lift, navel in and up, sit bones spreading again. So this is a little more of a diagonal line, like an inverted V, like you'd see on the mat. If this feels comfortable for you, you can take this as your downward dog. Pressing into the fingers and thumbs and roots of the fingers and thumbs rather than the heel of the hand. So really press the tips of the fingers in, and then the sort of ball of the root of the finger at the base of the finger. One more deep breath in and out here. And then slowly press into the hands, bring the shoulders forward, and let yourself roll pull up one vertebra at a time. Come to standing. So that's another way that you can explore downward facing dog. And then I'm going to invite you to come to the side of your chair, and we're going to take a little bit of a balance play. We did warrior pose last time, and if you remember, the last time we did warrior pose, the last couple of classes, what we did was we had the back leg back behind us lengthened, but the foot was flat, and the toes turned out slightly. I'm going to invite you to do a variation on this warrior pose. There's a few different ways you can do warrior one. This is the balancing warrior one, and it's a little more of a balance practice. So what I'm going to invite you to do is to start with your hand holding onto the side of the chair and bring, so if you're mirroring me, if you're on the right side of your chair, you would bring your left foot forward and the right foot back, but you're going to be on the ball of your foot. So your toes, your heel is going to be lifted. So I'm going to come here so that you can see. Your heel is going to be lifted, and the toes are going to be straight ahead. I'll turn my chair sideways like this. The toes are going to be straight ahead on both feet. So this still gives you that lovely stretch in the front of the psoas muscle, the front of the hip flexor there. You're going to energize that back leg, so try to lift the back of the knee crease and press out through the heel. This makes it a little easier to square the hips, but it's a little more difficult to balance. And you may notice that if you try to lift both hands. Maybe you need to keep one hand on the chair, that's fine. Just try not to grip. Just try to hold as gently as you can. Facing straight ahead with the headlights of your hips, lifting up with the other hand, opposite arm from your front bent knee. Your front knee is right over your ankle. Your tailbone is rooting down into the earth. If you have your balance and it feels steady and comfortable for you, you can try the courageous warrior, clasping hands back behind you so you get that open heart. That's optional. Big breath in, lengthening, rooting down through the pelvis, fixing your gaze in a spot in front of you on the floor. Your drishti point. And when you're ready to release, slowly rise up and bring the back foot up to meet the front foot, standing in mountain. And you may notice that you feel a difference between one leg and the other. You did a really nice stretch in the front of this hip area, and the front of the torso to the front of the thigh. So holding on again with your left hand on the right side of your chair, I'm going to invite you to come into the tree pose here. Now you may want to just use your block right underneath your foot. This is a hip opener, so you're going to turn your knee out to the side. So maybe just having your ball of your foot on the block and practicing either the sound of one hand clapping or even just for a moment, both hands in prayer. If it's available to you to bring your foot inside calf or inside thigh, it's another way we can practice tree. Just firm up the trunk of your tree, root down through the root system, up through the crown. If it's available to open your branches either on one side or both sides, you can play with that. Tree pose. And it's absolutely fine if you need to have that externally rotated leg with your feet touching the floor or a block. Still get the benefit of the hip opener here. And hands come back to the heart or one hand clapping and come back to standing in mountain pose. Just feel the celebration of being able to stand in balance on your own 2 feet. And we never take for granted how precious that is to be able to do that if you can. And then take a moment to shake out one leg, holding onto the chair, and shake out the other leg. And we will try that on the other side. So you're going to come into your warrior pose on the other side. So I'm going to turn sideways just so you can see the angle of my body. Now, I'm stepping back a whole leg length here. And I'm bringing my front thigh to pretty close to parallel. But if you need to take a gentler version of this for stability or just for how it feels on your legs, you can come into a shorter stance. And then that front thigh is going to be a little more of a 45-degree angle. But your knee is going to be over the ankle so that lower leg goes straight up and down. So what you don't want is this. You don't want an angle of that lower leg. You want the front leg, which is bent, to have from knee to ankle a straight line. And then you can decide how far is comfortable to slide back your extended leg. So on the other side now, stretching the other side. So let's see, when you were on this side, you did your right leg, so now you're doing your left leg. Hopefully we're all on the same page with that. Power up that back leg, press out through the heel, and square your hips, steady and comfortable, shining your headlight straight ahead. Root down through the tail, lift up through the crown, and either warrior arms straight up, or both arms if it's available to you, fixing your gaze into that spot a few feet in front of you on the floor, balancing warrior one on the ball of your foot. It's a little more balance challenge and easier to square the hips to the front. So see if you can bring into your mind and heart some quality of warrior that you want to invite in today. Strength, courage, fortitude, commitment, confidence. If you want to play with opening the heart, you can do that if that's available. Otherwise, keep one hand on the chair, that's fine. Big breath. And then when you're ready, stepping up. Noticing the aliveness is in your legs. A little bit different things happening in each leg. When you're ready to come into the tree pose, whether you need to use your block, you can decide, you can take a block and put it on the outside of your standing leg. Once again, fixing your focus in a spot a few feet in front of you on the floor. Either using tippy toes on a block. What you want to try to do is open that hip so that the knee points straight out to the side, but your hip pointers are still pointing straight ahead. So come into your own expression of tree pose. Either hands in prayer or sound of one hand clapping, or play with opening your branches to receive that returning light. Soften the muscles around the eyes, the jaw, the brow. If you notice any scrunchasana happening in the shoulders, either one or both shoulders, see if you can soften there. And find a little bit of activation in your core. Core lift, navel draws in and up just slightly to support the stability. Now I can see you all doing great. When you're ready to release, slowly releasing your tree pose and holding onto the chair, you can shake out one leg and then shake out the other leg just to release, to shake off that sequence. We'll come back to finding your seat on your chair. Once again, sit bones at the front edge, long spine, shoulders rolled back and down. Just take a moment to notice how you feel. We're going to work the core a little bit more with some leg lifts. So start by just gently letting your hands support yourself on the side of your chair. We're going to stay with long spine, shoulders stacked over hips. Inhale, draw the right thigh in. See if you can do that without compromising the length of your spine. Exhale, float that right foot down. Slowly release. Take the whole exhale to release. Inhale, left leg draws in. Exhale, let it go. So I'm going to turn sideways just to demonstrate. I want you to continue with the breath, lifting and lowering. And let it be a smooth movement, so we're not jerking the leg in. We're letting the breath lift it. So take the whole in-breath to lift up and the whole out-breath to release. And notice if you're going into any compensation here, rounding the spine, and just see if you can stay long and lifted. So you're really using those muscles in the lower abdomen here. And notice how your belly, all those muscles in the core, know how to activate to keep you steady and stable. So flowing with breath. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, lowering. You don't have to lift necessarily as high as I do. So even if it's just lifting a couple of inches off, just lift to the degree that your body allows without going into shlumpasana here. And then we can add another piece to this. Inhale, lift. Staying with lifted leg, exhale, press straight out. See if you can bring the leg perpendicular to the body and parallel to the floor. Inhale, draw in. Exhale, float down. Inhale, lift up, other side. Exhale, press straight out, foot flexed, toes to the sky. Inhale, draw in. Exhale, release. And we'll flow side to side doing that. And even if your leg is at an angle and not necessarily straight out to the side, that's okay. Just do what's available to you. Using that ujjayi breath, that victorious breath with that gentle narrowing of the airway, not only does that breath calm the nervous system and focus our attention in the present moment, but it also gives us strength to engage in postures that are a little bit challenging. And I'm going to invite you to do one more each side. Letting the pace of your long breaths set the pace for your movement. And then release. And just take a moment to pat down your legs, shake them out a little bit. And now I invite you to take your strap and draw your leg as best you can in toward your body so you can hook your strap around the bottom of your foot, right around the arch, right around the instep. And lengthen out through that leg and see if you can bring the leg so that it's straight out. And notice the length of the strap. We've done this before. So if you remember, if your strap is too long, your body's going to be leaning back. Or you're going to be pulling with your elbows, and that's going to create tension in the shoulders. So you want to reach your hands as close to your foot as you can while still keeping the shoulders lined up with one another. If you notice that the upper back is rounding and the shoulders are being pulled forward, then you want to lengthen the strap a little. If you notice the strap is so long that you're leaning back or bending your elbows, then you want to walk your hands a little closer to your feet. So you want to have it be like your strap, the length of your strap is just an extension of your fingers, and you're actually reaching your feet, but you have that elegant long line through the spine, leading with the heart. So pull the shoulders, the heads of the shoulders, just draw them back a little bit. Let the heart shine forward, let the crown of the head reach to the sky. Back of the neck is long, so the chin is level. Press out through the heel. Enjoy that nice hamstring stretch. If you need to take a little bend in your knee, or if your knees don't want to go straight, that's okay. So here we just take a few breaths to send the breath to any place in that leg that you're pressing out through. Send your breath to any place where you're noticing strong sensation. See if the breath can invite that tension to melt. It's like you're using your breath to massage the strong sensation and the place where there's restriction. When you're ready to release, lengthen your strap and float the leg down. Just take a moment to notice the difference between one leg and the other. All right, let's do the other side. Hooking the strap around the foot. Power up the spine and the core muscles that support that long spine, that steady and comfortable yogic seat as you press out. Now I'm just turning sideways just so that you can see, but you can just press out straight in front of you. If you notice one shoulder is being drawn forward, see if you can draw it back to level your shoulders with one another. Radiantly, open heart. Shoulders, tops of the shoulders draw away from the ears. Crown lifts. Centered on your sit bones. Again, you can always take a little bend in the knee. And pressing out through that heel. What you want to do is use the exhale to give it the juice. So you may want to soften just a hair on the inhale. Maybe a slight bend in the knee on the inhale. And on the exhale, give it the juice. Press out through the heel. Draw your toes toward your heart. So you're going to juice up the flexing of that foot. Breathe and enjoy. And it's fine if your leg wants to be a little further down at an angle. If you're feeling the stretch in the back of the leg, you're getting a benefit out of this practice. Okay, when you're ready to release, you can release this and then just give your legs a little rub down, pat down, shake out, anything that helps you release that sequence. And I'm going to invite you to come into a pose called the camel. The camel is a deep back bend and an opening of the heart. And there's a few ways that we can do this. I'm going to turn sideways so that you can see. You're going to come forward on your chair. You might want to watch me first. And your hands are going to come back behind you. And either grasp the back of the chair or just bring the palms flat on the chair. Fingers pointing back behind you. You're going to squeeze the shoulder blades. Let's just try this part together. Squeeze the shoulder blades toward the center. So those two wing tips of the shoulder blades want to draw as if they're going to kiss one another. And you'll notice, and as you point your fingers back behind you, you'll notice that you're externally rotating your upper arms. And that gives you a nice stretch in the chest. And you can press into your hands here to invite a little lift. So imagine that there's a string around your heart, lifting your heart to the sky. And you can look up slightly if that's comfortable for your neck, or you can keep your gaze level, your chin level. So just see if you can invite a little more expansion in the chest and a little more lift, like that string, that golden cord is lifting you to the sky through the heart, and you're arching back. So you're going to roll to the front edge of your sitting bones so that you're kind of tilting your tail back. So you're arching the back, lifting the heart, either keeping your chin level or slightly looking up to open the throat. And release slowly, taking a little break. So the camel is a deep back bend, and we just did a modified version of it. One of the things the camel does besides open the heart is the full expression of the throat of the pose opens the throat. And the throat chakra in the subtle energy anatomy of yoga is about our self-expression, speaking our truth, living authentically, expressing ourselves creatively. And a lot of us have blocked energy there. Maybe from the time we were really little when we were told, told by a family member or somebody we knew that we respected to shut up, or that some expression of ourselves was not acceptable. And we actually get energy blockages there because of those early traumas. So we're going to practice opening the throat here. And I'm going to invite you, this is optional to do this, but here's a way that you can do this safely, because some people don't feel comfortable letting their head go back. And the older we get, the more we get some deterioration of the disc between the vertebrae, and it's not very safe to do a deep neck extension. So what I'm going to invite you to do, if you'd like, is to take a blanket and spread it out and fold it so you're making kind of a long stole. You're just going to fold it the long way over a few times so you have kind of a big scarf or stole kind of thing. And this is optional. If you don't want to let your head go back, that's fine. And what you can then do is take that scarf or that stole and place it behind your neck. And if it's a nice thick blanket, it'll give you the support. And then cross your heart, nice and snug. Remember the cross your heart bra? Cross nice and snug. And if it feels safe and comfortable for you, then you've got some support to be able to do that same camel pose. So you're going to come to the front of your chair with your sit bones. Your hands are going to come behind you. And try to walk your hands so they're even with your buttocks, not to the sides of the chair, but as close together as you can get your hands. Fingers point back behind you. Maybe you need to be on your fingertips or fists, that's okay. And squeeze the shoulder blades toward one another. Feel the spreading of the heart. Lift up through the heart. Feel that string drawing you to the sky. And rock the front of the pelvis forward. So those two pointer bones are going to draw forward, kind of pressing toward your thighs. And you're going to come forward on your sit bones. And then if it's comfortable, you can look up at the sky and reach your chin up to the sky so you get that nice expansion in the throat. And just feel that lengthening in the throat center, perhaps visualizing your own self-expression being freed up. Taking a deep breath in, exhale, stick out your tongue and go, clearing out any stuck energy in that throat chakra area, the area of self-expression. In breath, in through the nose, keep lifting the heart, keep squeezing the shoulder blades together, and exhale, clearing out that throat chakra. So you can live authentic as your true authentic self. Inhale. One more time. And then slowly bring the shoulders over the hips. Lengthen up through the spine. Release the hands back behind you. Let the chin come level as you're coming into that comfortable seated mountain pose. Just notice what's alive in you. And then turn your fingers to point inward. And we're going to press the chin to the chest and round the spine. So now we're going to take the opposite movement, because Hatha yoga, the yoga of the postures and the breathing together, involves a pulsing of the spine one way and then the other way to increase the life force. Chin draws toward chest, shoulder blades spread apart, and try to draw the shoulders down toward the thighs. Press the center of the back to the chair behind you. So now you're taking a deep flexion after taking that deep extension. As you press your chin to your chest, now you're inviting the neck to come into flexion. So you're taking the opposite movement. Squeeze out all the breath and draw the navel in. So, sitting back up, and just notice how you feel. Let's check the time. All right, beautiful. Let's take another lovely hip opener, one that I like to wind down each class with the seated pigeon pose. So lifting your right thigh in toward your ribs, turn the knee out to the side, and bring above the ankle to the opposite thigh. Want to try to have the whole foot past your left leg. Long spine, and externally rotating that right thigh so you feel the juiciness of this hip opener, maybe pressing hand inside the knee, maybe folding over, coming into forearm to thigh. It's another place where it can be helpful to place a blanket in between your arms and your legs. And maybe folding the entire torso over, letting the head hang down. These are all optional stages. You listen to what's right for your body today. Notice where you're feeling the sensation here, and again, massage it with your breath. Where we send the breath and when we send the attention is where the life force, the prana, will flow. Without forcing or plowing through anything. Just sending our loving awareness there. Oh. And pressing back up into a seated position. We can take it right into a twist on this side before we do the other side. So draw that right thigh in toward your belly, knee toward the heart. Wrap your left arm around the leg. So your foot is crossed over so that your ankle is on the other side or your foot is on the other side of your left thigh. And then either grabbing the back of the chair or bringing your hand down to the seat of the chair, right hand down, or on the back of the chair, take a seated twist. So you take a few breaths here, leading with the heart, looking over your right shoulder. All the while lifting up through the crown, back of the neck long. Celebrating your range of motion just as it is today. And unwinding from the twist. Both feet come down. Noticing the difference between each side. And then you can come into your figure four on this side, letting the foot come past the right leg, letting left knee draw down toward the floor, either pressing hand to the inside of the knee. Maybe that'll be enough. Or folding forward if it's available. I'm just kind of showing you a little bit in fast forward what the options are, but you take your time. Full fold is the juiciest, deepest expression of this, and if it feels good, if you enjoy the sensation, go for it. If it's not enjoyable, take a gentler expression. When you're ready to release the seated pigeon stretch here, coming right into that twist, you're going to draw the knee up toward the heart. Your left foot is crossed over to the outside of your right thigh. You're going to wrap the right arm around that leg and support yourself wherever on the chair feels comfortable. Lead with the heart, look over your left shoulder. Every in-breath, you're going to lengthen from your tail to your crown. Every out breath, you're going to lead with your heart to deepen into the twist. So that beginning part of each breath cycle helps ensure that we don't let the spine collapse into this twist, but that we keep that elegant lift. Space between the vertebrae, so we have a little more room to explore this twist fully. Breath long, slow, and deep. And slowly release when you're ready. And bring both feet on the floor. And to close our practice today, I would like to share with you a wonderful balancing breathing practice called Nadi Shodhana, which is alternate nostril breathing. And it is also known as the channel cleansing or channel purification breath. Because what this does energetically is it balances the right and left hemispheres of the brain and cleanses or clears out and balances the subtle energy channels that run along each side of the spine. I've talked about how there's a central channel right through the center of your spine that's called the Sushumna. But alongside that Sushumna, on the right side and left side, there is a channel that moves up from the tailbone, from the base of the spine, all the way up to the third eye and ending at the nostrils. And it's also said that these channels crisscross, kind of make like a caduceus symbol as they crisscross through the chakra points up the spinal column and end right here at the third eye. And our access to those channels is through the nostrils. So we're going to purify and cleanse those two channels on each side of the spine. If you have a tissue nearby, you may want to clear the nostrils first. So I'll give you a moment to do that. Taking a handkerchief or tissue and clearing. And once again, inviting a long spine so that Sushumna is nice and open. And I'm not going to mirror you here, so take your right hand and bring the first finger and the second finger down to the base of the thumb. So you're going to keep your thumb extended, your ring finger extended, and your pinky extended. Now turn the palm to face you, and take your thumb and close off your right nostril, so your left nostril is open. From here, take a long, slow, deep breath in through the left. You may notice that one nostril is more open than another, and that's normal. At the top of your breath, close off the left nostril and open the right. So release the thumb from the right nostril. Exhale through the right. Now, same side, take a deep breath in through the right side. At the top of the breath, close the right nostril, open the left, exhale left. Same side, inhale left. Close the left nostril, open right, exhale right. We always inhale, same side we exhaled. So now inhale right. Switch. At the top of the breath, you switch and exhale left. Inhale left. Switch. Exhale right. So the pattern is inhale right. Switch at the top and exhale opposite side. So now we're exhaling left. So after you exhale, you inhale the same side. Switch at the top, exhale other side. Let your eyes close and see if you can find that rhythm of breathing within yourself. Inhaling, switching, exhaling other side, and inhaling the same side you just exhaled. So it's just remember, switch at the top of the breath. And as you explore this breathing practice, you are balancing the right and left hemispheres of the brain, cleansing those energy channels that run along the left and right side of the spine, and balancing the subtle polarities that are part of your energy body, your inner solar and lunar, inner divine masculine and divine feminine. Each of us have those archetypes within us. You're balancing your active side and your passive side. If we use the Chinese system, it would be you're balancing your yin and yang energy. Light and dark, active, passive, masculine and feminine. Your intuitive side of your brain and your analytical side of your brain also coming into balance. And the next time you exhale through the left side, release the practice and just bring both hands down to your lap. Palms can be turned up or down, and just let the eyes close and notice what's alive in you. Anytime you need to bring calm and balance to your nervous system, this is a wonderful practice. Om Satchitananda Parabrahma Purushottama Paramatma Shri Bhagavati Samhita Shri Bhagavate Namah. Om Satchitananda Parabrahma Purushottama Paramatma Shri Bhagavati Samhita Shri Bhagavate Namah. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hari Om Tat Sat. This is a Sanskrit chant, honoring those different polarities in the universe, the divine masculine and the divine feminine. Hari Om Tat Sat is a way of sealing our practice. It means, so be it, and that's the truth, honoring the truth of the universe. Hari Om Tat Sat. 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 Bringing the palms together, Right palm meets left palm in front of the heart. Another gesture of joining and balancing those polarities within us and within the universe. Those of you who wish to can join me in closing our practice in the sound of Om, with the sound of Om. Deep breath in. Om. Namaste. The divinity in me sees and bows to the divinity in you.